The EU has launched a crucial discussion about its future climate and energy policy. Current targets on energy production and usage are set to 2020. But what factors are driving the debate on new targets beyond that date?
The EU is at a crossroads. Does the EU continue its 20-20-20 method of setting targets? 20% reduction of emissions, 20% increased energy efficiency, 20% share of renewables, and set further targets for 2030, 3 separate targets? Or does it figure out something else?
As of now, there isn't a framework proposed by the Commission or by the EU, but there has been some road mapping exercises that have looked ahead as far as 2050. This road mapping exercise has shown very clearly that if we want to get down there cost effectively, it's more cost effective, it's cheaper in effect, to do that gradually.
And the interesting thing is that we're actually on that trajectory right now. If we look at the emissions that we've had over the past few years, including from before the financial crisis, if we were to continue that downward trajectory, we just need 2% per year to stay below 2 degrees.
Europe is at a very important stage of its energy and climate policy. Lots of the assumptions we had did not materialize. We have to make a rethink. I think we should focus that on the 2030 target setting. The best way forward would be to have a single CO2 target driving CO2 abatement, driving innovation in the most cost-effective way. Therefore, in order for that to be credible, we have to reform the European trading system on CO2, get back to a robust CO2 price that gives the right price signal.
It's very important that we remain economically competitive. So I think that we should be based on market-based mechanisms, and also our legislation should be technology neutral.
There's good economic reasons why we should be trying to save energy. We import most of our fossil fuels, and the dependence of the European Union on imports is growing and is likely to continue to grow through to 2030. Now that dependence on others is a vulnerability.
Of course, we see, rightly so, that Europe is focusing on competitiveness at the moment. That should not mean that we should forget about climate policy. It will start to haunt us later. It will be more costly later.
In all of these discussions we have, people often overlook what happens if we don't reduce our emissions? What happens if we do go over 2 degrees or more of warming? Then our economy is really in trouble.
There will be sectors of industry that are required to change their production techniques and make investments in order to reduce their emissions. But there are also industries that can grow, that can be nurtured.
At the European level, I think we are ambitious. But the global economical and financial crisis warned us that it is not only environment, it is also competitiveness, it is also social welfare we are responsible for. So I would like to see more ambitions at the global level, and I am looking forward to a global climate change agreement in year 2015. I hope it will be ambitious enough.
We asked our Comment Visions debate audience whether they think the framework for the EU's post-2020 climate and energy policy is a path to sustainable growth. Have your say on the progress of EU post-2020 climate and energy policy at commentvisions.com, on LinkedIn and via Twitter.